So WWE Crown Jewel goes down this weekend. Once again, they head out to Saudi Arabia. And this time, this is to crown the crown jewels of the jeweled crown of pro wrestling. As you have champion versus champion in both Raw and SmackDown in both the men's and women's divisions, as it'll be Gunther taking on Cody Rhodes and Liv Morgan facing Nia Jax for the inaugural men's and women's crown jewel championships. And so the build for this has been a little bit weird. It has kind of felt like Forbidden Door a little bit, or back in the day when they did the Survivor Series brand split stuff, where like on the Raw side, it has just been Gunther focusing on Cody. They haven't. Gunther had kind of just finished a Sammy thing, and so he was unburdened by other stories going into this. For Cody, he's got the Bloodline thing going on, he's got the Kevin Owens thing going on, and now he's showing up and talking to Gunther about all these. And so I think they've done a pretty good job of building this up and kind of establishing the wants here for both of these guys. Specifically, I think a bit more for Cody, where he is this historian. He's kind of turned into this kind of representation of both wrestling's past and future. And so as a historian and as someone who understands how many great things his father was able to do, but also maybe some of the firsts that he wasn't able to accomplish and do all those different things, he is putting it on as like that. This is a first that I'm taking very seriously, and I think because of that, it has legitimized things in this a bit. And so I think they've done a pretty good job of building up the men's side of this. The women's side, not as much. Like it's felt like they've done a better job of building up Nia versus Rhea and Rhea versus Liv than they've done Liv versus Nia. Like I feel like this is just going to be a match, quite frankly. So I like looking at what we want to see from Raw tonight. I would like to see at least something that happens that makes me feel like something that feels like this is going to be important to both of these wrestlers instead of just a pit stop before they go on with their real feuds, quite frankly. Seth Rollins against Bronson Reed. The rest of this, like I don't think we need to see a whole lot of build up for the rest of this, quite frankly. I think they've done a pretty good job of building these things. Like Seth against Bronson Reed, it feels like it's just the start, and it feels like it's going to be that. Randy Orton against Kevin Owens, that has been built up excellently, and probably leads to another challenge opportunity for someone a little bit down the road. LA Knight, Andrade, Carmelo, like that's a SmackDown thing, but what do we want to see this week from that? I don't think there's a whole lot they can do to get me overly interested in that particular storyline. Same with the women's four-way tag team match. I think that'll be interesting. I think it'll be fun. But I don't know if we necessarily are fully invested in that one. And then they've done a great job with the Bloodline thing. Again, getting the Usos and Roman Reigns back together, along with the Bloodline with Solo, Tonga, and Tonga Loa. So in terms of what they need to set up the rest of the week, I don't know if there is a whole lot there that necessarily you need to worry about for the build. I guess coming into it, I was like, I'm not really feeling it for this one. But then you go through, it's like, well, they've set that up pretty well. Well, they've set that up pretty well. Well, they've set that up pretty well. You know what? Maybe they've set this show up pretty well. It's just the concept that I'm not necessarily super thrilled on. But yeah, we'll be covering this throughout the week. Raw recap coming up tomorrow, and building up to the preview for the pay-per-view coming up on Thursday.